So yeah, guys, welcome. We got a special guest. We got Coronado, the man of the hour, to talk about annuities. Before he goes on, I just want to have Lonnie share his experience. He just got funded. He rolled an annuity. It was what, 100 something? Go ahead, Lonnie.
Yeah, I've been working on this annuity since December, and it finally got funded. 112,000 from a family member, and then another 38K is coming. Probably in another few weeks. Yeah, it felt good to actually get on the board. You know, some of the when you try to take money from somebody, it's not as easy as you think sometimes. I mean, this one, a check was actually sent out to Athene, but it went to a clinic, and the clinic cashed the check. Okay, and and the bank rejected the check, and it had to go back to the company again. It was a mess. It took me literally 2 hours a day, about 20 calls, to get through and correct this for my family member here. And so it was challenging, but finally it got funded, and the big check came through, and I was excited about that a couple of days ago.
Congrats. But yeah, normally it's not that bad.
No,
but
no,
it just
it's normally the check was sent out June 6th, and this clinic actually cashed the check on the 10th, and they said that, hey, you know, we don't look at these checks, we just put them through because we got a lot of patients paying for service with a doctor, and you know, we made a big mistake, and they apologized, but it held it up a pretty good minute. Yeah. So we finally got it all straightened out, but it felt good to get it on the board. It was just like, you know, I kind of got in my own head with all the other business. I had to get this done for the family member. They trusted me with this money. It was their 403B rollover. The other 38K was actually in the Roth IRA, so I couldn't roll the whole 150K over at the same time. So I got to do it in pieces, kind of like what Coronado was saying. But yeah, got it done, and I'm looking forward to making this other one with the same company go a little bit more smoother.
Nice. Yeah. So we're gonna go over and touch on like what an annuity does, how it works. But big thing, it comes in a big check. So a one sale. Yeah. The biggest thing that you guys got to understand is learning how to do it. But once you make one sale, whatever the transfer is, you're either going to get 5.25% of that transfer, and then you move up to 6% to go up to 7 or 8. But a 5% of $1 million, it's a lot of money for a one-time sale. So once you start looking and finding money, this is a big profit into your business, a big return of investment, and it's a big influx of capital that you can have into your business, whether you get more leads, you know, you fund your business, you get an office, you get more agents, you get a staff. All these things can affect your business in the long run. So without further ado, let's get the man of the hour, Coronado. Just to let you guys know, this guy is the #1 annuity producer in our team. Just last year alone, he was banging out month to month like $1 million annuities. So he's going to talk a little bit about his method, how he gets clients, how he rolls these clients into more clients, and more importantly, the nuances of annuities out there. So Coronado, welcome.
Hello, how's everyone doing today?
Good.
Perfect.
I guess they can't hear me.
No, we can hear you.
I can't hear them, right? All right, so first and foremost, my name is Coronado Haro. I'm a 15-year veteran in life insurance and annuities. I used to be securities licensed. No longer securities licensed. I feel that there's a lot of compliance and regulation with a securities license, and there's so much good that you can do just with a life license, life and health license. And then obviously, if you get certified for the different products that the different carriers offer. So one thing for me that has been a bit of a niche is really getting a stronghold on bringing value to a fixed index annuity. Every client that I sit with, whether it be final expense, term, IUL, or if I'm there for a rollover, I always cross-sell. So regardless of what I'm there for, I specialize in 4 areas. So I'm always making sure that I touch on each one. If I'm there for IUL, I'm going to mention FIA. If I'm there for final expense, I'm going to mention FIA. If I'm there for term, I'm going to mention IUL. So It's just really understanding your client, understanding what age bracket they fall under, and then making a determination as to how you're going to be able to help this particular client. So how do I acquire annuity clients? One thing for me is every appointment that I do or phone call, I make it a must to follow this rule that I created for myself. It's called FTM. That stands for find the money, right? So every time I'm sitting down with someone, regardless of what I'm there for, I'm always digging, I'm always asking. I learned a long time ago in this industry, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you're asking the right questions, and you're doing a little bit of digging, it's going to be that 30 seconds or a minute that you spend asking these particular questions. You never know what the client's going to respond, and maybe there's not a service that you can offer them, but they know of someone. So I'm very good at penetrating a client's market, whether that be their family members, their best friend, somebody from work, maybe it's the neighbor across the street, whoever the heck is in their circle. I want to make sure that I leave a lasting impression. So one day when the conversation comes up about life insurance or rollovers or annuities, oh, you know what? I know a guy, and that guy is typically me. So really, really important, guys, that you guys are out there doing always what's in the best interest of the client. And I don't always look for the carrier that's going to pay me the most. I look for the carrier that makes sense, because at the end of the day, the business that pays is the business that stays, right? So I don't stretch people on their budget. They may very well know that they need so much coverage, but if you bring it down to where their budget, that business is going to likely stick. So if you guys have a pen and paper, I know that this is going to be posted on the YouTube Syndicate channel. But if you guys have pen and paper, I don't know, I'm a bit old school. Sometimes when you write things down, you internalize it more, as opposed to you're driving around and you're listening to it like, yeah, that makes sense. And then 4 hours later, you're like, wait, what did he say? So I recommend that if you're in a position, maybe you're not driving your car, but if you're in a position to write this down, jot it down really quick. There's 10 questions that I always ask my client base so I can find the money, okay? Number one question I ask is, do you know of anybody who recently retired? So you can just write down the word retired. Okay, I'm gonna try to go slow, but not too slow. Second question, do you know of anyone who recently got fired? So these are all opportunities to get into this rollover market, because guess what? When you're retired, now you've separated from your employer. Now you, the insurance, the annuity professional, can come in and say, hey, you know what? You have already disconnected from your employer. We can go ahead and let me offer you some options and explain to you the value in doing business with me, right? So retired, fired. Do you know anyone who recently got a settlement, whether that's from a car accident, personal injury, whatever the case may be? Anyone who just came into some money through a settlement, or maybe a lawsuit. That would be our fourth one. Do you know of anyone who recently received a lawsuit? Okay, most people are like, no, and then eventually they'll be like, oh yeah, I know somebody, right? The other one, do you know of anyone who has a pretty substantial amount of money just sitting in the bank? And for me, just depending on my client, I always do an analysis, because that's actually required in the FIA application, the fixed index annuity. When you're doing the suitability paperwork, they're always going to ask, what are this client's monthly expenses and what is their monthly income, right? So that to me screams out. Let's say that their monthly income is I don't know, $6,000 a month, which is kind of average, right? People make $6 grand a month. That's 70 grand a year. So if they tell me, yeah, my monthly income is 6 grand, and they have $80,000 in the bank, then for me it's like ding, 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 like my ears are ringing. And what I want to do is I say, okay, well, have you heard of an emergency fund? Client may say yay or nay. Well, an emergency fund basically means that, hey, if you lost your job today, do you have some reserves to keep you afloat, so so that you can go out and find employment? So typically, I'm pretty comfortable with moving over money so long as I leave them with 3 months reserves. So if they have 80 grand and they make 6,000 a month, 6 times 3 is 18. So I say, you know what, let's go ahead and keep 20 grand in your account. If you want to be extra conservative, you can say, you know what, let's just go ahead and keep 40 as a emergency reserves because you're unemployed right now. Or you're just kind of, maybe you're in between jobs or you're looking, whatever the case may be. And then I can just roll over 40. But there's no reason why people should be holding 60, 80, 100, 180,000, $200,000 sitting in a checking or a savings account, even a CD nowadays. If you guys don't know what a CD is, it's called a certificate of depression. I'm sorry, certificate of deposit. I'm joking, right? Because the interest rate is a joke, right? So so always identify how much money these clients are making. And then if they have excess money sitting in a checking, savings, or CD, sometimes even a money market, which pays very little, you might want to consider, hey, those are some extra funds where we can put to work for you. Potentially, I always say the word potential. You have the potential to earn double-digit returns on your money. But you do what I can guarantee is that once your money comes over, I can guarantee you of any market loss. So this fixed index annuity is a platform where we're going to have the funds come over, and these billion-dollar insurance companies are going to protect your money from any type of losses. But you also have the opportunity to earn double-digit returns. That's not a guarantee, but based on historical performance, these accounts are doing actually very well. Okay, so now we're on the 6-1. As far as FTM, find the money. Number 6, you know, have you received any? Do you know anybody who's received money from like a workman's comp case? Okay, this one's a good one. Do you know anybody who just got a new job? If somebody's got a new job, especially if it's a brand new full-time job, more than likely they left another job to get this full-time job. So you can say, well, you know what? Well, where did you work before? Oh, I used to work for UPS, or I used to work for Walmart, or I worked at XYZ company. Okay, great. Did you have a retirement account there? Oh, yes, I did. Well, what did you have? I had a 401k. I had a CalPERS. I had a 403b. I had a, you know, any kind of a employer sponsored retirement program. It just, my ears ring because I know that I can come in there and be able to transfer over these funds. The other one is, you know, not many people are going to say yes to this, but you know, do you know anybody who won the lotto? I mean, sometimes people win, you know, tens of thousands, and sometimes they win millions of dollars. So that would be another question. I also ask because it's very typical. Most employers offer their employees a 401k. So one of my questions is, you know, do you own a 401k? Do you know anyone else who owns a 401k? So that's number 9. And then the last one, do you know anybody who recently is going through a separation or maybe got divorced? You know, there's a division of assets and so forth. So those are some great opportunities for you to come in there and be able to handle these funds. Okay, so that's really how I dig for assets. And you know, for me, every client that I sit with, people know people. So every client I sit with knows people that I don't. So I want to make sure that they know exactly what I do. I leave behind my business cards. And you know, when I ask these questions, normally they'll say, you know, my cousin Betty or my coworker John or whatever the case may be. And I can come in there and just continue to excavate that and just run with it. My all-time high off of one client, I was able to reach just, you know, tap rooting and connecting all the dots off one client. I tap rooted that for 18 separate clients, 18 separate applications. That's my record. So I met this guy who connected me to this guy, who connected me to this guy, and this guy, and this guy. I went 18 deep on that. And that was pre-pandemic, but I'm proud to say that I was able to just based on referrals, I was able to go 18 deep. So, which is pretty phenomenal. Okay. So as far as I think the most important thing for you guys to understand is when you're taking these applications, definitely always, I wasn't doing this initially because I was like, suppose that I thought I knew everything and I was Mr. Hotshot. But when I really understood the power of leveraging the AMS website, my God, it's slipping my mind. John, maybe you can help me. It's called the
FFL AMS, Advanced Market Sales.
yeah, the AMS site. It's
As a
called
specialist,
the what?
Ask a Specialist.
No, not that one where you put in the e-app,
Oh, Firelight.
Firelight. So I would definitely recommend that don't go directly to Athene's website and do the e-app there. Use the Firelight app, because whether you guys realize it or not, you guys have a back office team that's actually there to support you. And the last thing that you want to do is fill in your e-app incorrectly, send it directly to Athene. Athene is bombarded with so many applications, and then you're going to be in line 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 business days before they can review your app and tell you what the heck's wrong with it. So you're better off filling it out on the Firelight app, where it goes directly to AMS. AMS may take 1 or 2 business days. It's a lot less than 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, particularly when Athena is inundated with new applications. So I would definitely leverage AMS. They're there as a backup for you. And the gal, I know everybody over there by name. They know me. And it would be very important for you to leverage them to let you know, hey, you know what? Based on the application we have, we found, I mean, the first time I sent something, it wasn't that many mistakes. I think I had like 4 mistakes. And then the second application I did was like 1 mistake. And then sometimes there's something wrong, sometimes there's not, but it's a quick fix. So, but they will literally tell you exactly what you need to correct. And therefore you get with your client, you make those corrections or what have you. And then once they see that the application is pretty good, because they know the suitability process very well, then AMS themselves will forward over to Athene. So that's going to be really, really important moving forward, is that you guys utilize the AMS team, the advanced marketing sales team. Those girls are really there to really support your business. And initially, don't let annuities scare you or intimidate you. I'm really big on a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do this until I know everything. Well, you have a wrong attitude. You have to understand, even with final expense. Even for me, final expense was a challenge for me because I never did final expense before I came to FFL, right? But you always have to stumble forward and then just learn from your mistakes and then start to really come in and master your craft. So definitely use the Firelight application. Have the girls support you. Once they check off on it, then the file goes directly to Athene. And I have found that doing it that way, you get through the suitability process a lot faster. And then you can proceed with doing the 1035 exchange, the transfer forms, in order to be able to request funds. Okay. I have a little bit of a story. I won't take that long, but earlier today, I'm in the process of rolling over. Have a client with 313 grand, and we started this process in the first week of February. And one thing that's really important, guys, is always prep your client. Give them a timeline. Give them a realistic timeline. What I always do is, I always tell them, look, this is going to take anywhere between 30 to 45 days. The reason why it may take that long is because you need to understand that these transfer companies are not very happy to receive paperwork that your client is going to leave them. So oftentimes they make it very challenging for you. They put up these roadblocks, that you have all these hurdles and hoops and loops, and they make it in some cases very difficult for you to transfer those monies over. And most people don't have that kind of patience. And unfortunately for me, early on in my career, I did lose some deals because I was just having a lot of issues that I could not overcome quickly. And my client just said, hey, screw it. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is taking too long. I'll go another route. So, but experience does come with some failure, some early failure. And then that's how you're really going to come into your own. Okay. So just a couple of things when you're talking, how do I sell the fixed index annuity? I say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, first of all, have you ever heard of a fixed index annuity? 9 out of 10 people will say, no, I have not. Okay, so what a fixed index annuity is, I actually explain each letter. So the annuity is going to be the plan that your money is going to go into. That's going to be pretty much be like the platform. It's going to go into an annuity. The F stands for fixed. This means because it's a fixed product, I can give you a guarantee today that once your funds transfer over from this point forward, regardless if the stock market goes down -8, -20, minus 32, you will never lose money in this account. So this is strictly for preservation of your assets. And so that's where the F comes in, fixed. You will never lose money in this account. What does the I stand for? These companies, such as Athene, they hire these incredible money managers that are pretty much going to mirror what the stock market is doing. And they have these strategies where they're going to be able to give you a great rate of return based upon the investment that you put into. You don't want to get too much into the index. I'll let the experts talk about that, but just tell them, hey, these guys are heavily trained. They have Harvard degrees. That they come from Yale, and these are just money managers that really know where, how to grow that money. So the beautiful thing about this is it's a fixed product with the potential of earning double-digit returns. And then the platform that we're using is called an annuity. Okay. I don't know if many of you guys know this, but you definitely, hey, let's face it, if you're going to be in the money game, you have to be able to bring value to your people. And one thing that I always touch on is the rule of 72. If you guys are in this industry and you don't know what the rule, especially if you're selling IUL or you're selling fixed index annuities, you need to understand what the rule of 72 is and exactly how it works. And I'll make it real simple for you. The rule of 72 was actually created by some genius with a high IQ. His name is Albert Einstein. The rule of 72 is one of the 7 wonders of the world. And what that is, you just listen to me closely. I need you to grab the number 72, and I want you to get the interest that you're earning on whatever investment you have. You divide that number into the number 72, and however many times your interest rate goes into the number 72 will tell you how long it takes for your money to double. So a lot of people have money in the bank. They have this cute little sign on the door that says FDIC insured. I like to have a little fun with that. To me, that means funds don't increase correctly. Because you're earning less than 1% at the bank. But let's say you were earning 1%. So you divide 1 into 72. If your money is sitting with Chase or B of A or Wells Fargo and you're earning 1% on your account, it's going to take your money 72 years to double. I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of time, right? But let's flip the script. Let's say that you're only earning 7%, either in a mutual fund or a fixed index annuity or an IUL product. Now you grab your interest rate of 7%. You divide it into the number 72, that roughly goes in there 10 times. So if you earn through the highs and lows, if you average a 7% rate of return, that means that your money is on pace to double every 10 years. That makes sense, guys? So what I've noticed in the when I'm doing the illustration on a fixed index annuity, over a 7-year period, if the account is averaging 10%, you're actually going to get more of a 150% multiple on your money. So typically in the 7th year, your money's going to double. And then that extra 3 years, you're going to see like a 50%. So let's say you roll over 100 grand, what I've seen in these illustrations, it's not a guarantee, but based off the illustration, I've seen 100,000 turn into 200,000 7 years in. And then if you understand the magic of compound interest and how that money just continues to work and work and work, in a short 3 years, you can easily have another 50% increase. So that 200 can turn into 250,000, maybe even 300,000. So understanding the rule of 72 and how the magic of compound interest works, I'm sure you guys can Google it. I'm sure there's videos on it, but I would definitely recommend that you have a basic understanding of that. So when you come see the client, I mean, you're going to impress them. Most people don't know what the rule of 72 is. Bottom line is this: interest can work against you or for you depending on what you have. If you have credit card debt, interest never sleeps. So it's just going to keep eating you up. But if you have investments, that interest also doesn't sleep. So you got to be able to, put yourself in a position where, yeah, I have a little bit of debt, but I have my fair share of participating in other accounts that are going to make me money. So
Thanks, Coronado.
I don't know if I'm over my time.
Yeah, we're gonna be out of time. I got about a minute left because we're gonna run into the 2
Okay.
o'clock. Any last words? I think the best thing is, there's a lot of the processes that we're gonna go through. Don't worry about the process because the process won't happen if you're not in front of an annuity client yet. So I think the number 10 things that he mentioned to just start asking for any client or any circle of influence you guys have will create that conversation.
Yeah. And if you guys want to follow me, I'm on Instagram. My full name is Coronado, but on my Instagram, I took out the D like David. So it's Coronado, and it's twice. So my Instagram handle is Coronado. It's without the D, but my name is Coronado. And there's a little joke behind it, but I'll leave that for another day. But if you guys want to follow me, I'm actually starting to post more content in regards to not only life insurance, but annuities. And, they say that if you love what you do, man, you don't work a day in your life. I mean, it is a lot of work, but I do have a passion for what I'm doing. That's why I've been in this industry so long. And, I'm blessed. I have well over 3,300 personal clients, and they continue to feed me referrals. And
that's awesome.
I'm just in a good place. So I know that we're, the focus at FFL is buying leads. I'm just a little bit different cat. My existing client base does keep me pretty busy, and I've actually purchased leads before, and I've been successful with those as well. So
yeah, I think that's the end goal, is that once you build enough clientele from the leads that we buy, from the referrals that you get, wherever you get these clients, you bring that in, you're gonna have future business coming in.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, Coronado. This is gonna be saved. It's recorded as soon as we finish after the 2 o'clock call. I'm gonna have this posted, and I'll share it with you guys.
Beautiful.
So thanks a lot, guys. You guys have a good one. We'll see you at the 2 o'clock.
Okay, guys, take care. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.